If I asked you right now to explain why you believe what you believe and not just repeat something you've heard, could you do it? You know, most people hesitate, and that's not because we're lazy or uneducated or that we don't have critical thinking. It's because something real is actually happening to our minds, a slow rewiring powered by the very technology that's supposed to make us smarter. Artificial intelligence, AI, isn't just changing jobs and industries. It's actually changing how humans think, decide, and tell the truth. And recent scientific studies on this are pretty shocking. Thanks for being here. My name is Kay. I've been a producer and a human rights defender for decades, and now I'm a defender of human value because too many actors in society are benefiting from people devaluing themselves as human beings. So with AI, yes, AI is cool and interesting, and people are excited that they're going to become the next millionaire from using it. But that narrative is also distracting us from something really important. So I've talked before about the physical side of AI, the massive data centers going up all across America and around the world, pulling millions of gallons of water and megawatts of power every day. You can click here to watch that video. But there's another kind of extraction happening, and it's not from the grid, it's actually from us. Every time we let a machine write, decide, or filter something for us, we give away a small piece of mental strength. It doesn't happen all at once, so you don't really notice it. But science is already showing the effects, especially since public AI systems like ChatGPT have been added to people's browsers and devices all over the world in the past couple of years. The first study I want to show you comes from MIT, the famous institute. It's called Your Brain on ChatGPT. And it looked at what happens when people write with the help of AI. Researchers asked dozens of participants. They were all college-age students, so their brains were mostly developed, and they were asked to complete several writing tasks. Some of them wrote completely on their own, just with their own brain. Some used Google search for help, and others used ChatGPT. While they worked, their brain activity was tracked using EEG sensors, which measure the electrical activity in the brain. The results were pretty shocking. The people using ChatGPT showed lower brain connectivity in regions linked to memory, attention, and creative thought. And when researchers asked them to recall what they had just written, just a few minutes later, many in the ChatGPT group couldn't remember their own sentences. They had produced more polished essays, but with less mental engagement and therefore weaker memory and recall, weaker critical thinking. The headlines that came out after that study were basically that ChatGPT is making us dumb. The first time I tried ChatGPT, it wasn't until early this year. I was actually trying to avoid it for as long as I could. And the first time I used it, I was shocked. And immediately I said to my friend, this is going to make people dumb. But when the study came out, I wasn't surprised at all. I was just glad that other people could see it. Now, the MIT study didn't show long-term brain damage. They didn't study that. But it showed how quickly the human brain disengages when we hand off work to another brain. It's very fast. Other well-documented research helps explain why the MIT results look the way they did. It's actually not that surprising. The first is called cognitive offloading. That's when the brain hands work over to a tool, like a calculator, a GPS, or now an AI model. It saves energy for the brain. Now, another area of study that we know is the familiarity effect. It's sometimes called the illusion of truth. This is when information sounds fluent, natural, or personal, and our brains treat that more believably. And then we use less effort to evaluate it. The AI tools are designed to speak in our human language, smooth, confident, that's the key word, confident, and tailored to our tone. That makes the information feel trustworthy and complete, even if it's wrong. And when you put those two things together, the MIT findings actually make perfect sense. This isn't just about losing the will to think. It's about also losing honesty. A new study published in Nature asked a simple but revealing question. What happens when people hand decision-making over to AI? That's a really good question. Researchers ran 13 experiments with more than 8,000 participants. Yes, 8,000 around the world. Each person had a chance to earn money by reporting the result of a dice roll. No one could see the roll of the dice but them. So they could tell the truth or they could cheat. Some people did the tasks themselves. Others delegated it to an AI system and instructed the system to maximize profit. The results were uncomfortable. When humans rolled and reported on their own without AI, about 95% of them stayed honest. They told the truth. But when they let AI handle it, honesty basically collapsed. In some experiments, only 1 in 6 people told the truth. Why? Because when the machine acts, people feel less responsible. It creates what the researchers called a moral buffer, a sense that the guilt belongs to the tool, not the person who used it. And the AI, it didn't mind if it lied or not. When the AI was given vague goals like make as much money as possible, well, it cheated. It cheated a lot, far more often than if it was human partners working together. The machine simply did what it was told, without ethics, without emotion, without hesitation. The more we delegate our choices to AI, the more we train ourselves to look away from the consequences. We gain convenience and we lose conscience. Yikes. It doesn't look like control, it looks like convenience. And that's what makes it so powerful. You get what I call cognitive capture, the slow conditioning of humans to depend on machines, first for help, then for judgment, and finally for truth. So remember, AI isn't taking over by force, it's taking over by invitation, through comfort, through speed, through a narrative that thinking for ourselves is inefficient, and that we should let machines do it because they'll be better at it. What do you think about all that? Let me know in the comments below and we can chat. I say that awareness changes everything. The moment you notice when you're being guided, you start to take your mind back. You keep your brain, you keep your tools, and you make the choices you want. If you want a full breakdown of this process and the 5 stages of cognitive capture and how to stay free from it, join my Mind Armor newsletter on Substack. Subscribers get the full breakdown each week, plus paid subscribers get the Dark Side report where I go deeper into each stage with real-world examples and practical tips to keep your mind strong in a world that wants to manipulate it. If you found this video helpful, maybe share it with someone who you think may be leaning a little bit too much on AI and needs to get some mental clarity back. And before you click this next video, stay strong, stay calm, and stay human.